Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo, a professional home organizer specializing in toxic clutter. And today we're going to be chatting about the benefits of an organized home. Specifically, we're going to focus on common obstacles and barriers to being successful in organizing our space. And I promise you, if you're a beginner when it comes to organization, we're going to keep things incredibly simple. A common rule when it comes to keeping our homes clean and tidy is that everything in your space should have a home to go to. And this is what typically makes those tidying up habits incredibly easy, because all of your items, such as the mail when you first bring it in, or your makeup, or your hair products, or tools, your kids' toys, your pets' toys, and essentially everything around the home should have a designated space to return to. That is how we keep a clean and tidy home. Yet some of us struggle keeping an organized space. Now, you know, this podcast is all about decluttering. And the primary reason for why we cannot successfully organize a space typically is because, well, we just have too much stuff. And one of the biggest mistakes, if you've listened to any of my previous episodes, is when we try to organize clutter. And organizing clutter does not work. It is a complete and utter waste of time and money. However, successful organization is possible if you feel like you have decluttered certain areas of your home and you've cleaned them out and now you are ready for organization. Let's chat about the benefits of an organized space and how to overcome certain barriers to ensure that you are successful in achieving that clutter-free, clean, and tidy home that's easy to maintain. So some benefits of an organized space include reduced stress. It's so incredibly amazing when we have less stuff, when we only keep what we need, what we love, what makes us happy, and when everything has a home. It also saves a ton of time. So there is no more rummaging around your house trying to find something. I find that us women, we encounter this a lot if our closets aren't cluttered. For example, you have an event to go to, you know you have that beautiful black dress that you want to wear, and you open up your closet doors and now it's been an hour and a half and you can't find it. Keeping things organized will save you a ton of time. I want to share something really funny. One of my Facebook members was so ecstatic. Her kids were over for the holidays and she had not been home at the time. And her children called up and asked about a particular kitchen utensil. And because she achieved a clutter-free, clean, and organized home, she was so proud of herself because she was quickly and easily able to direct them to where to retrieve it. And that is what we want. We want to save time and energy and reduce our levels of stress because we know exactly where things are. The other benefit of an organized space is that it saves money. So oftentimes when I am helping clients declutter their homes, I will get a lot of, oh my God, why do I have 6 of this item, right? A lot of times when we have too much stuff, we don't even remember what we have. We end up purchasing the same thing over and over again because maybe we feel like it's faster to just go out and buy a new item than search for a possible existing one. My favorite benefit of an organized space, and this is something I've been experiencing over the last couple of years, is that my home has become incredibly easy to clean. I used to spend 3 hours every single Sunday cleaning my house. And it was a nightmare because who wants to be indoors on a Sunday afternoon cleaning? We want to be out and about. We want to be enjoying life because that's where memories are created, right? Memories are created with family and friends going out. They are not created with a broom in hand. You will save a ton of time. At a minimum, you will cut your cleaning in half if you have an organized home. The other thing is it actually motivates us to maintain a clean and tidy home because we find more respect and love for our space when it's clean and organized. I mean, think back to a time where maybe you did organize a drawer or a cabinet, how proud of yourself you were. And probably for the few weeks after that, you really tried hard to keep it clean and tidy. And of course, it's aesthetically pleasing, right? When we organize, I mean, even sometimes I'm like browsing Instagram and TikTok and I look at people's spaces, specifically the kitchen, and things are so well organized and things are labeled. I am a stickler. Well, I label a lot of things around my home, but I love clear containers with neat labels on them. It just looks sexy and sleek, and it is incredibly aesthetically pleasing. It also improves self-confidence, right? It makes us feel good. Like we are able to successfully manage our home. Like we did this, right? Through sweat and exhaustion and maybe even emotional turmoil, we were able to declutter our homes, clean our homes, and then successfully organize it. Like how incredible does it feel when you have a friend or a family member come over and tell you, girl, your refrigerator, your pantry, oh my God, it looks beautiful. I absolutely love it. Like it feels good. We get a lot of satisfaction being proud of an organized space and an organized home. So it really improves our self-efficacy, our self-esteem, and our confidence. Because if we can organize our home, what else in our life can we organize? And of course, finally, when it comes to benefits of an organized space is that we're actually maximizing the space, right? Once we've decluttered, once we've organized for functional use, and I will actually do probably the next podcast will be on organizational basics, so Organization 101. Where I'll talk about best practices for starting to organize your home. But if you organize effectively and you organize for functional use, which is the point of home organization, you maximize space. All of a sudden, you have extra storage. And by the way, that does not mean that it is a green light for you to buy more stuff to like fill in the empty space. Empty space is your friend, right? Things should comfortably fit in the area that they're designated for. And on the flip side, there are drawbacks of having a disorganized home. And some of these you might be experiencing, right? Some of the drawbacks of disorganization is increased stress, anxiety, and feelings of overwhelm. I know that a lot of my clients feel like they have no control over their life. They have no control over their home. Like things are just chaotic and messy. And, you know, our homes at times are a reflection of our internal state of mind. And we can actually, and this is what I love about decluttering and cleaning and organizing, is it is something that we all can control. It requires work. It requires effort. Yes, it is at times an emotional journey and can feel overwhelming, but we are in control of being able to reduce our stress and anxiety in our space. Other drawbacks are we waste time, we waste money, we spend hours on cleaning. It really, areas of our home, it's an inefficient use of space. At times, it can even be a safety hazard. And oftentimes, you know, a huge drawback is that we don't want to invite people over. I've talked to so many incredible women who are just lovely and who love to host and feel embarrassed and ashamed having people come over their home. I'm not even going to talk about where like all of a sudden there's an emergency and somebody's like, I'll stop by your house in like 5 to 10 minutes. And you're like, oh my God. So you start cleaning as quickly as you possibly can. Those things happen and you deserve to host in your home if that's what you enjoy, right? If you enjoy having company over. A disorganized, cluttered home should not be the reason that you don't engage in social interaction in your space. Every single one of you is capable of achieving a clutter-free, clean, tidy, and organized space. So let's talk about common obstacles to organization, but most importantly, how to overcome them. So the most common one that I encounter a lot is, Margo, I don't have time to organize. And this is very similar to, I don't have time to declutter. We all have 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some of us can find 30 minutes a day. Some of us can find an hour a week. We have time. We're choosing, right? Because at the end of the day, we decide what we do with our time. We decide where our priorities lie. So it's not a lack of time issue. It is a lack of priority issue, whether we're procrastinating or whatever might be happening, right? But we have time. The best way to declutter or organize your space is in bite-sized sessions. You know how much I love putting 15 minutes on the clock and organizing or decluttering one small space at a time. You do not have to run a marathon. You do not have to organize your entire kitchen. If you recently decluttered a kitchen drawer, go ahead and try to organize that drawer. Organization, just like decluttering, is not about perfection. It is about functional use for you, your family, and your lifestyle. Look, if you want to make things pretty, by all means, go ahead and do it. But I'd rather sacrifice aesthetic for keeping things well organized. Set aside short, focused blocks of time and tackle one shelf or drawer at a time. And by the way, it is possible, right, that the first time you organize a drawer, it's not going to look good. It's not going to function well. It's not going to work, right? The best way to organize well, just like the best way to declutter efficiently, is to take action, learn from our mistakes, and naturally we will get better at home organization. The next common obstacle to organization is emotional attachment to too much stuff. And this kind of ties into when we try to organize clutter. The truth is, the less you have, the easier it is to organize and maintain. So if you are holding on to a lot of items out of emotional or sentimental attachment, and you know there's nothing wrong with holding on to things for sentimental reasons, it becomes a problem when we're assigning emotional attachments to too many items in our home that are actually not serving us. So be realistic about what you're keeping. I absolutely love the idea of a memory box, having a box that maybe you store in your closet, and that is where you put all of your sentimental items. Another hack to help you let go is to take photos of some of the items. So we hold on to the photo instead of the bulky thing. Next common obstacle to organization, and this, oh my goodness, I hear this all the time. Home organization costs too much money. And look, if you want to hire a professional home organizer such as me, yes, there is an investment. If you want to go out to the Container Store maybe or Home Goods and buy a bunch of containers and bins and drawer organizers, yes, there is a financial investment there. But you don't have to do any of that. In fact, for all of the clients that I start working with, I never, ever suggest that they run out and buy a bunch of new stuff. Chances are you have things around your home, such as bins and maybe boxes or something that you can even utilize as a divider that you can start with. Because what ends up happening is, especially when we're new to organization, we kind of don't know what we're doing. So it's a lot of trial and error. So why would you want to invest money into something if you're not actually certain that it'll work? So my rule of thumb is work with what you've got, right? It doesn't have to be beautiful. Work with what you have, organize it, use it for a couple of weeks. If it works, you can always upgrade. Or you can choose to never upgrade because the way you have it set up works for you. So get creative with repurposing items for other uses. So for example, using a mug, right? Maybe an extra mug that you have as a pen holder or a plant holder or even craft supplies, right? There are items all over your home that you don't need, that you don't use, but you can actually utilize it by getting creative to organize other spaces in your home. Like I'll even share really one funny one. So I had a candle that burned out and there was still a little bit left. I loved it. Lovely smelling candle. I love the scent of vanilla. And I actually ended up repurposing it and I placed it underneath my bathroom sink to hold toothbrushes and other small cleaning supplies that I use in my bathroom. So get creative. The sky is the limit. If you're not sure how to repurpose certain things, let me tell you something. TikTok has a ton of great ideas. And finally, a common obstacle, just like with decluttering, is procrastination. And, when we think of home organization, it really sounds like this huge thing. I mean, it's like home organization. Like I went to school, right? and earned a certificate in home organization. So like a lot of times we think like, oh my God, like people literally go to school for this. Like how am I, and somebody who's not really familiar with this, how am I going to be able to successfully organize my home, right? So like I just don't know how to do it, which is a common reason that we procrastinate. And ladies, think about how many times you started doing something and didn't know how to do it. And the more times you did it, the better you became at it. I always use the example of being a parent. Like the first time, your first baby, right? After your first baby is kind of like the trial run where you learn a lot. Trial and error with your first kid, right? But like when you have a child, I mean, there's so many different things that come up. Like you've never been a mom before. You have no freaking idea what the hell you're doing, right? You're just kind of going through the motions. Yeah, maybe you read some books and blogs and watched a couple of videos, but it's very different than actually like bringing home a living, breathing baby that relies on you 100%. Like, I don't know about you all, but I was incredibly scared when I brought my daughter home. I was like, I don't know what to do with you, right? I was like, where's the manual on how to be an effective mother? But we learn as we go. And I am pretty sure that organization is less scary when it comes to knowledge base than like raising children. Okay. So every single one of you can do it. Take action, right? The best way to overcome any of these obstacles is to just roll up your sleeves and do it. Make it messy, make it chaotic, make mistakes, things work, things don't work. And look, I'm a professional organizer, and there's still some times where I will organize something in a client's house or even my own house. And I'm like, shoot, this does not work. Like it just does not work for how the family utilizes the space, right? So nobody's perfect at this, right? A lot of times on Instagram, we're seeing the final results, but you're not seeing the 10 other attempts that happened before the final results. So take that pressure off. It's even fun to make mistakes. Like look at it as like an oops, a learning opportunity, right? But start taking action. Home organization is really at its core, not about aesthetics, but it's about practicality. I also wanted to take a quick second and let you know about a free workshop that I'm going to be hosting on December 7th at 2:30 p.m. The workshop is going to be on how to create a decluttering plan for a clutter-free 2024. So I thought it would be helpful to chat about creating a decluttering plan for the new year. And because the truth is, a lot of folks have no list, no schedule, no system. And what happens is it leads to aimless decluttering. That is why I want to provide you all with a step-by-step guide on how to create a blueprint for tackling your clutter systematically. And essentially, this will eliminate decision fatigue, overwhelm, and procrastination. And most importantly, keep you focused and on track in the new year. So this workshop is going to be about 45 minutes. It is completely free and it'll take place December 7th. You can check out the link in this episode's show notes. As always, thanks so much for listening. Good luck on your decluttering journey, and in this case, your home organization journey. And remember to be good to yourselves.